Terrifying tale.
Eula Lawrence of the Lawrence clan, captain of the reconnaissance company in the Knights of Favonius, the Spindrift Knight, one of, if not the coolest, physical damage DPSs in Genshin Impact. And today, everyone, I'm here to explain her kit. Eula is a Claymore user and wields the power of Cryo channeled through her vision. But unlike many other Claymore characters, she doesn't focus much on her element. Instead, Eula's kit is dedicated to doing as much physical damage as fast as possible. With quick and elegant strikes, she can tear apart the competition. Her elemental skill, Ice Tide Vortex, is a quick slash of cryo damage, followed by a 4-second cooldown. Landing Eula's elemental skill grants Eula a stack of Grimheart for 18 seconds with up to 2 obtainable stacks. Holding her elemental skill will consume all stacks of Grimheart, dealing area of effect cryo damage, and result in a 10-second cooldown instead of 4. For each stack of Grimheart consumed, the enemy will have their physical resistance and cryo resistance reduced by 23% for 7 seconds. And any Grimheart stacks will be turned into an Ice World brand, dealing cryo damage to hit enemies. Unlocking the Ascension 1 passive Rolling Rhyme will cause an additional Shattered Lightfall Sword to fall while consuming 2 stacks of Grimheart, dealing half of the physical damage her Lightfall Sword shockwave that her Elemental Burst would inflict. After gaining 80 energy points, you will be able to release Eula's Elemental Burst Glacial Illumination, causing a large swing of her Greatsword, dealing cryo damage and summoning a Lightfall Sword that floats by her person for 7 seconds. When the Lightfall Sword is present, Eula's resistance to interruption is boosted, and when her normal attacks and elemental skills land, they will charge the Lightfall Sword, up to a maximum of 30 stacks. Fully charging, switching character, or waiting the remaining 7 seconds will cause the Lightfall Sword to plummet and crash violently, dealing physical damage scaling on how many charges the Lightfall Sword has. Unlocking the Ascension 4 passive Wellspring of Warlust will cause the cooldown of Ice Tide Vortex to be reset, as well as gain an additional stack of Grimheart upon activating her Elemental Burst. So despite Eula Lawrence being one of the best physical damage dealers in Genshin Impact, she does, in fact, have a few weaknesses to certain bosses.
That's right.
Certain bosses include quite a few of the hypostasises, a few other bosses such as Regisvines, and specifically, I'd say a hard counter, Lupus Boreas, Dominator of the Wolves, and the Oceanid, as well as the Golden Wolf Lord. God, he is such an annoying boss. And maybe the Bathysmal Vishap Herd, but that doesn't stop her from excelling in other certain fights. The main reason why Eula struggles in specific hypostasis fights is just due to the lack of elemental resonance. Due to the fact that Eula is cryo, she cannot handle certain situations like the pyrohypostasis very well. You require a hydro character on your team. As you can see, she can't extinguish the pyrohypostasis very well. It does minimal damage, and she can't do much against the dendrohypostasis due to it requiring a dendro character to heal the cores to hit its weak points. While she doesn't exactly struggle with the cryo Regisvine, I don't think she can destroy the core very efficiently with her cryo element. But once the core is destroyed, on the other hand, she can do a lot of damage. I'm gonna die. Eula, in my opinion, is perfect for mechanical enemies. She does a ton of physical damage and just a little bit less elemental damage than normal units. It's perfect considering especially the Ruin Drakes that actually steal the element that you use against them and then gain a defense buff towards them. This is Eula in her prime state. Any Ruin monster, anywhere, anytime, Eula can take it down in a flash. The only things to take in considerations about Ruin machines are specifically the type. There are some that can fly, there are some that don't, there are some that separate into multiple pieces, of course, and some that are one whole piece, and it's really annoying. But there's one last target on Eula's hit list that we have not gone over yet, but I have showed in this video so far. I'd go as far to say that the strongest Eula can be is against this boss, the Primo Geovishap. First of all, I'd like to go over the team comp. I have Noelle as healer and shielder. I use Rosaria's burst to reduce physical damage resistance to the enemy. I use Raiden Shogun to cause off-field electro damage to cause and react superconduct, which lowers the physical resistance of the enemy even further. And then of course I have Eula as my main DPS, dealing as much physical damage as possible to get those bonuses, and stacking on top of damage bonuses. So this will be a culmination of all the knowledge I've gathered on Eula in this video. Observe how fast I can drop this monstrosity with the right team comp. Now, if this hasn't proved that Eula's worthy on your team and her kit is amazing, then I have one last saving grace. Then, if not for combat, Eula is also exceptional at crafting and exploration. When Eula goes to craft, specifically talent materials, she has a 10% chance to receive double the product, which is very handy when you need to level up your talents and make more books and certain materials to get your talents to where you want them to be. Especially in Eula's case, her kit is extremely reliant on her normal attack being as high as possible, as well as her burst being as high as possible. But to use her outside of combat, you don't have to stick around the crafting table. You can go out and explore. Eula is extremely efficient at getting around due to her tall stature. Her speedy kit makes random encounters even easier than they were before. So now that you know all about her kit, get out there and do your best.